speaker, author, and life coach. She teaches individuals who want to make a difference the 7 ancient principles of the samurai so they can live their lives with courage, honor, and integrity. Initially, Lori joined Toastmasters to overcome her public speaking fears. Lori is here today to share with us from the Advanced Better Speakers series, Controlling Your Fears. Did fear prevent you from public speaking? Yes, still is. In the past, of course. Today you will gain tips to control your fears while you are speaking to become a more confident speaker. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Tsugawa Whaley.
With great anticipation, I'm going to be giving you this speech. It's from the Advanced, I believe it's called Advanced Speakers series, and there's a series of 10 you can go into Toastmasters. Controlling your fears. How many of you would say that you had initially fears even to come here to Toastmasters? Show of hands? Okay, so that's the majority of us, so I guess we're in the right room. And today we have our lovely Vanna. Vanna Peggy. The first top, there will be 5 things I'm going to be covering. The first one is anxiety triggers. The second one is anxiety symptoms. The third is managing anxiety, visualization, that's okay, and then relaxation. And then I'd also just like to give you some tips. The first one would be anxiety triggers. So that would be the first. Go ahead. Anytime you're in a new situation, you become anxious, but sometimes that's a good thing because your anxiety or your fears can in some ways warn you, but you're safe here in Toastmasters. How many of you are afraid of failure? Anybody here? I think everybody's afraid of failure, and nobody likes to fail, but the wonderful thing about here in this room, especially this Toastmasters group, is if you fail, it's okay. We all do. We all do. Nobody's perfect, and if you do, you just pick yourself up and you will not be scolded. Or the potential of appearing, oh, that's anxiety triggers. Yeah. Appearing foolish. Nobody wants to be thought of as a fool. And that comes from, I believe it comes from comparing. You know, I'm better than you and you're better than me. And that's really, I think, is a caste system from hell. Because there's different levels, right? Who's better than anybody else? Is anybody here better than President Clinton? No. Or the janitor, or the person that walks up and goes to Tacoma Rescue Mission up there. Nobody is better than anybody else. We may have different positions in life. We may have some people have made better choices, but we are all human beings, and we're all, I don't believe that should be a caste system. And the last thing about a fear is perhaps boring your audience. Who wants to be up here speaking and somebody looking at their watch or looking out the window or appearing bored or even falling asleep? Hasn't that ever happened to anybody? I know I fall asleep during speeches, and sometimes it's because the voice is so monotone. I'll just give this to you and you can write it down. What's his name? His name was Professor Mehrabian. Came up with the formula, 7% of our conversation or communication is words, 7%. 38% is tone of voice. 55% is body language. And I'll prove that to you right now. So, Judy, I'm going to meet you. And I'll meet her hi Judy, how are you?
Fine.
I'm Lori.
Hi Lori, good to meet you.
Great, okay, so that was very accepting. So this will be another one, okay?
Okay.
Oh, hi Judy, how are you? Oh, well, I'll see you, I have to text me. Do you see how that makes a person feel? So our communication is so important. It's not just our words, it's our tone of voice and our body language, which is our actions. This is another one. You know, when you talk to somebody this way, what are you doing? You're closing them off, right? Okay, our symptoms, right, that's good. Anxiety symptoms will be the next. When you get anxious, what happens? Does your heart start racing? Have you ever heard of a panic attack? I am a transition counselor out at MCCCW, that's Mission Creek Center, Correction Center for Women. That's the prison. And one woman had a panic attack in my class, and I did not know what that is, but she actually did. Butterflies in your stomach, you know, you might feel a little anxious or nervous, or you might get shaky, or even stutter. You might become lightheaded, or even dizzy. Those are all anxiety symptoms. And one way to relieve the lightheadedness is to somehow get the blood going up to your head, lean back. That's what I believe. Somebody, one of my mentors told me that. Just stand at, like if you're in the restroom, just stand and then put your head back towards the wall, usually maybe leaning maybe 10 degrees, 10, 15, and let the blood go back up to your head. This will help you think better. How do we manage anxiety? Experience. Toastmasters. Practice in front of the mirror. And like what Rumi's doing, practice in front of a camera, and then not only practice, watch yourself. I really do not, I have to be honest, I do not like looking at my, anything that I've done. And I have to get over that. And that's actually how I met William Michael Paul. Do you all know William Michael Paul? I have actually taken acting classes from him, and he's been filming me occasionally when we do a coaching session, and then I have to look at it. So does anybody have any other suggestions for experience? How do you get over those jittery butterflies? Any suggestion? Pardon?
As for me, it's very like somebody go to my throat, before the sound. But once I start opening my mouth, then everything disappeared. It's, what do you call that? You have to go into it in order to dissipate that anxiety, to do it.
There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I found that to be something that I can use to acknowledge that I have a fear, acknowledge what the fear is, then acknowledge what's causing the fear, and then go ahead and do what you have to do.
Another good tip. Okay, yes, Rumi.
I sometimes have my passion wins over nervousness. I want to say, I want to tell the message so much that I forget about being nervous.
Great. Another tip I'd like to give you is breathing. Breathe, okay. You can, when you breathe from your, up here, it's very shallow. But if you breathe more from your diaphragm, you'll be really breathing. And the breathing will hopefully calm the ums, because you'll have a chance to, so I breathe instead of saying you'll have a chance to catch yourself. Breathing is great. And hands. Have you ever noticed that as beginning Toastmasters, this is what we do, this like this, and hands in the back. Mary Morrison said, put your hands at your side and do this, just kind of one of your fingers, and then you won't even notice it. Do you see that? Okay. And one other suggestion I'd like to give is, one person said that what you do is you think of yourself as a tree, and you just plant yourself. You don't have to pace back and forth. So if I was talking like this, and would you get a little dizzy watching me? So I don't. I think of myself as a tree. So think of yourself as a tree. You're rooted. Okay, visualization is the next. Number 4. So take time to think of yourself. How will you be? Know your surroundings. And if you go out and speak someplace, it's good to know where you're going to be. Visit the club, visit the organization, visit the venue. And you will when you think about it, think about your hand gestures. What are your hands doing? It's good to be up here, down here, and then down here. A lot of times it's here, just down at your side. That's a very comfortable place to be. This is one thing you don't want to do as a speaker, is to point, because that's very, very accusatory. You can point, but you can make your point. There's a difference in saying, you guys out there, da 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 da, you know, and nobody's going to see that. And then think about the applause, and like what Rumi-san said, think about your audience. You are giving a gift to them. The gift is out there, and they get to open it, and you're giving them the gift. Visualization, great. And the last one is relaxation. Relax. What does it take for you to relax? Whether it's just sitting quietly, thinking about it, going over your speech, practicing. See yourself as a successful person. Because Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. So just think about your body. Hold your chest down, stand, practice being planted. And these are all good tips. So when I ask for evaluation, if you can just give me 1 or 2 sentences, that would be great. I appreciate it. And I look forward to this Toastmaster journey with each one of you. Madam Toastmaster.